One of our producers, Matt Roberts, recognizes that I'm in trouble when Big Pants comes out here. So he put together some responses for me. Yeah, that's what you think. I'm not buying that. Where did you hear that? Whatever. Now listen to this. Our first guest is an Emmy Award-winning broadcaster whose nightly program, The O'Reilly Factor, recently celebrated 100 consecutive months as cable television's #1 news program. Oh. Hey, you see what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, here's Bill O'Reilly. Wow, that's, you know, when I look at that, 100 months, how many years is 100 months?
8 1/4.
Wow, nice going. #1 in cable news, and congratulations. Take us through the history. Were you always a news commentary, or were you a reporter of hard news?
I was a reporter. I started in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and worked my way up. Worked at Channel 2 in New York, ABC News, CBS News. Then I did Inside Edition, one of your favorite programs. And then I went back to school. Went to Harvard, got a master's degree in public administration, designed the Factor in Cambridge, Massachusetts, came back, they hired me at Fox, and here we are.
So when you say working your way up, does that really apply to Fox? Hey, come on, relax. But now, I want to tell you, and this book is a crazy bestseller. How many weeks have been on the bestseller list?
6 months on the bestseller list.
Now, see, here's what breaks my heart about this, because in my mind, I think of you as a goon. But then when you look at this picture, look at how sweet and adorable that kid is, and it breaks my heart because I have a sweet, adorable kid like that, and I think, oh, great, what if he too becomes a goon? You know?
Do you want me to respond to any of this? Or?
No. Okay. You know, there's been a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. The big thing with Rush Limbaugh, the new face of the Republican Party. Now, how did that happen? Is that a good thing? Is that what they need now? And what's going on there?
Well, I think it was Carville, James Carville. You know James? He's been on this program. And somebody else. They said, well, let's throw this out there that Rush Limbaugh is running the Republican Party, and the media ran with it, and so there it is. Yeah. You know, I got out of talk radio about 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago. It seems like 4 months. I'm the luckiest guy on earth. Who did that help? Rush Limbaugh. His ratings went through the roof. I used to compete with him on the radio. So, you know, a little wise guy stuff involved with that. But it helped Rush Limbaugh. So now his ratings are higher. He's happy. And
but does it mean anything? Is he, in fact, the titular head of the Republican Party? Does he represent the constituents?
I don't believe so. I don't check in with the Republican Party very often, so I don't think so.
And then what was the deal where the Republican Party, in the face and the gesture of Richard Steele, offered Rush Limbaugh an apology?
I don't think they want to offend Rush Limbaugh. He's got 15 hours airtime a week on a radio, so I don't think any Republicans or conservatives want to offend the man because it just, you know,
rip him up. Isn't that the dog wagging the tail here? I'm sorry,
I think you make, Dave, with all due respect, and I know you're, you know, right. I think you're making a big deal out of nothing here. I don't think this is an important thing for the folks.
I was excited about it. I want Rush Limbaugh to be the new face of the Republican Party.
Why?
Well, he's tubby. For a long time, he had his housekeeper buying illegal drugs. And I thought, well, if this is what the Republican Party needs, there you go.
You're signing up.
That's, yeah, put me down for that.
You're on board. Do you really think it's nice to do that to Limbaugh, though? I mean, really. This is a serious question. They set him up as a straw man, right? Like, nobody takes this seriously.
I think he set himself up, didn't he?
Why? He's a radio talk show guy. He goes on the radio just like you go on TV.
Right.
He does his show. You either like it or you don't. Nobody forces you to watch or listen to you or Limbaugh. Why cheap shot the guy? I mean, why bother?
That's a good question. Yeah? Oh, yeah? Whatever. Can you prove that? All right, now here...
Now you know why I'm #1 for 100 months.
Now, but here's what I've always thought about Rush Limbaugh. yourself and your buddy Glenn Beck even admitted
No,
this.
you think we're the same? Limbaugh and I are in the same?
Please, will you just give me a minute? I always thought that, I'm sorry, it was Michael Steele. I think I said Richard Steele. But I always thought that Rush Limbaugh could have been a TV weatherman, could have done sports. He could have hosted a game show. But somebody said, Rush, we got this, we need a right-wing commentary niche. Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Do you know him?
Met him a couple of times. Yeah, I've been on the show.
Didn't you used to be a TV weatherman?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now I'm not the face of the Republican Party.
You're not? I thought you were.
But it just seems to me like he's too smart to believe what he's saying.
Look.
And I feel the same way about you. You're too smart to believe what you say.
Wait. Oh, hold on. Don't make me come up there.
Yeah, don't make him come up there. I'll hold your coat.
Give me one example of something that I've said that I'm too smart to have said. Just one.
You're gonna boycott Sean Penn movies.
Yeah, I don't want. Now, that's a good one, Dave, and I appreciate you having a discourse now. It's my $10, right?
Yeah.
I can go see what I want.
Yeah, but
right?
I mean,
ho! Let me talk. All right, now this guy runs down to Venezuela, does a lambada with Hugo Chavez, okay? I don't like Hugo Chavez. I think he's a tyrant. So I'm going, I don't really want to spend $10 on this guy. If Clark Gable, Dave, and I know you feel the same way, if Clark Gable had cozied up to Francisco Franco in the 30s, I wouldn't have got to see Gone with the Wind.
Right.
All right?
But strictly speaking, one of two things. Your boycott of Sean Penn. When was the last Sean Penn movie you saw, period?
I saw Mystic River, Clint Eastwood movie, excellent film.
Okay.
And he's a good actor, by the way, so
Right.
I'm suffering here for my art.
Yeah, but...
Is this mine?
But it's going to be on your conscience when you put him out of work. And two, have you ever met Hugo Chavez?
I have talked.
Really? What was that
Yeah,
conversation?
through an interpreter.
Oh, really? About
I
what?
called him a pinhead.
Through his interpreter?
It was a short conversation.
Now, anyway, let's talk
Do
about...
you like Hugo Chavez?
No, I think he's squirrely. I don't like the idea that he nationalizes the media. He's nationalizing the banks. Term limits were extended.
that's not good, right?
I think
All of that's bad.
he's trying, Raul and Fidel, I got in his ear, and he's got this thing right there that I think needs to come off.
So you and I are on the same page on this, right?
On Hugo Chavez,
Yeah.
I don't know what he's up to. But
Are
I think
you
if
boycotting
if
Sean Penn movies?
No, I like Sean Penn. He can go anywhere he wants. I don't care.
You don't care?
No. Now, let's talk about your buddy, Glenn Beck. There's a piece on him in the Times the other day, and he said what I think coalesces this whole deal.
Which deal is that?
Which is you're too smart to say the things you say.
Me or him?
Everybody. You, Rush, Glenn Beck. He said at the end of the piece,
Yeah.
Glenn Beck says, if people take what I say as gospel, they're idiots. And I
don't think that was the exact quote.
that was the exact quote.
No, he called himself a
Rodeo clown.
Rodeo guy.
Yeah, but at the end he said, if people take what I say as gospel, they're idiots.
Well, because he wants you to do his own research. Look, Glenn Beck is a talk show host, right? Rush Limbaugh is a talk show host. They're not journalists.
Well, what are you? You're a talk
I'm
show
a journalist.
host. Now, what's the difference?
I don't know. I got a degree. I paid a lot of money
Yeah,
for
but
it.
where's your journal? Is it?
It's right on my wall. I went out, covered stories, saw
yeah,
the
but
world.
what you do is mostly commentary.
Now it is, yes.
Yes.
But I was a hard news reporter. But those guys are basically entertainers. And they admit it.
You're an entertainer.
Somewhat.
What do you mean somewhat?
No, we're informational driven. We give information, Dave, which is why I know a lot.
Right. That's
Which is
right.
why I've been number one for 100 months.
Yeah, you're not that entertaining.
So, if I'm not that entertaining, why am I so popular?
Exactly.
Are the folks stupid?
Yeah. What are we, stupid?
Yeah. Come on now.
But I think Glenn Beck, and maybe he got caught up in the moment of candor, but I think he speaks to this. I think you guys know exactly what you're doing. You've been very successful at it. But the truth of it is, you're not speaking your conscience.
So we're charlatans, is what you're saying.
Not a charlatan, it's showbiz.
No, if you don't speak your conscience,
This
you're
is
a
why
charlatan.
wrestling is popular.
No. Everything I say, I believe, and I believe everything Beck says he believes.
Yeah, but what percentage of stuff do you make up?
None. If I make anything up, they just rip me up in the New York Times or whatever. I mean, we have a very good research staff, just like your staff. Very good. They find out the facts. We come in, we present them, we give an opinion, we bring out an opposing point of view. That's why we're #1, Dave. Come on now.
No. Okay, I get it now, Bill. Thanks. All right, we're back here with Bill O'Reilly. Now let's talk about something else. I saw our old buddy Al Franken was running for senator up in Minnesota, and the race was very, very close,
right.
and so close that a mandatory recount took place. Votes were examined, the ballots examined that heretofore had not been examined, and the lead was 230-something for Al Franken, and now they're awaiting some adjudication. And after that, if Norm Coleman is denied, he'll have an appeal process. What does this all look like to you?
You know, I'm going to recuse myself because I don't like Al Franken, and it's not fair to me to go on and say bad things about him. I don't want to do that. But it's a mess. I mean, they want to count ballots that haven't been counted, and there's lawsuits over every ballot. And look, I'd like to see just another election there. Just have another election and have Jimmy Carter and all the boys go in and watch what goes on, and that's what I'd like to see.
Right.
But it's right now, it's just
But why
unending.
would there need to be some sort of people watching what goes on, some sort of observers?
You know, there's some cheating in elections in America that happens here, unfortunately.
But this one, it's interesting because, and I'm interested in that you don't want to talk about it because you don't like Al Franken.
Yeah, it's not right.
But that doesn't stop you nightly from talking about people you don't like.
No, very rarely.
You only talk about people you like?
I'm gonna send over some tapes so you can watch the show and know what the hell's going on. All right?
I have no idea. I can't find the show. I don't know where it is.
What's going on.
You're right. I am at a handicap. I've never seen the show.
We don't.
But anyway,
wait, one thing. If you had watched the show, you would be much smarter. You wouldn't have to say whatever.
I can't stay up that late.
Okay. It's on at 8 p.m., Dave.
Oh.
Right.
But the thing about the Al Franken race, whether you like him or not, I happen to like Al. I don't know Norm Coleman, and he was the incumbent senator. But it's fascinating because they always say every vote counts. And it looks like now, however this comes down, whether it's 200 votes, whether it's 1,000 votes, oh my gosh, how many live in Minnesota? 5 million, 6 million people?
I don't know.
That's just remarkable that in this country, the system will tolerate that, slicing it that thin.
It is. And I feel bad for the people in Minnesota. They should have a senator, and they should have the representation. But this thing's going to go on forever because it's now litigation city, and that's what it is.
Right. So if the decision does not go Norm Coleman's way, he then can appeal, and the whole thing will be repeated.
You can go to the Supreme Court. That's how far, and that'll be, by the time I get around, it'll be 6 years from now, I'll be voting again.
You know what is interesting to me? A year ago, we had a guy on the show, a sitting Democratic congressman, and during the commercial, I said, what do you think will be George Bush's legacy? And he said to me, George Bush, when he's out of office, should be arrested and tried for war crimes. And I laughed. I thought,
Democratic senator said that? I'm shocked.
And I laughed. I thought, this guy's a kook. But now I see that this is gaining some traction.
Yeah, in Spain. In Spain, they may do it. Look, I think we should all give President Bush a break for just a little while.
Why? Give him a break for what?
Let history unfold. Whether you like him or not, the man was handed a really tough plate after 9/11. And I think he tried to do the best he could. Obviously, he presided over an economy that collapsed. That's on his sheet.
Presided or ignored?
I don't know. Look. I'm not going to insult the audience, but if you're applauding for that, ladies and gentlemen, the Democrats controlled the Hill for 2 years, okay? Frank and Dodd were in charge of the finance committees in the House and the Senate. So if you think Bush ignored it, then the other guys ignored it as well, because nobody gave us a heads up. Nobody, all right? So why don't we just calm down on this Bush thing, let history unfold.
All right,
Isn't it fair?
All right, take me down this road. History unfolds. How many years are we unfolding? 10, 15,
No,
20,
I don't think
50
so.
years, 100 years?
I don't think so.
What will vindicate? What will make him look like a great president?
I think, look, you're going to have people study the man, you're going to have people study the record, and you're going to have information come out, because we have a 24/7 news cycle.
What information is
Information about decisions he made, what he did, why the economy collapsed. Did he know?
All right, but
did he not know?
The economy, as serious as it is, a global problem, is only part of it. The situation in Iraq. As far as I know, the only positive thing I heard about this administration was he was a great supporter of Africa. And that you can't take away from the guy. And God bless him.
And he kept us protected. We weren't attacked after 9/11.
All right, kept us protected.
That's big.
Right.
That's
but
big.
now, well, what about, and then 500,000 Iraqis killed, 5,000 American men and women killed. For what reason? To get rid of Saddam Hussein?
That's probably what it comes down to.
That country into a hotbed of terrorism where it hadn't been a hotbed of terrorism before?
I'm not going to defend the Iraq War. I don't think it was worth going there. And I've said that on the air many times. I don't think the blood and treasure was worth it. I'm thankful we won that war. I'm thankful that we were victorious because now Barack Obama's road is easier because we won that war. If we had lost it, his road would be harder. But I'm not going to justify the blood and treasure. It was a mistake, a historical mistake.
But if the Bush administration had concentrated perhaps on Afghanistan to talk about making Barack Obama's job easier, then it would have been immeasurably easier now to have sidestepped the massacre in Iraq.
Because in order to concentrate on Afghanistan, you would have had, and still today, to invade Pakistan. That's where those people are hiding, okay? So unless you go in Pakistan territory and get them, which Pakistan does not want and would cause a big, wider war, they're going to sit there. Now, we're dropping predators on them, and we're wiping some of them out. But that's a simplistic solution to a very complicated problem.
What do you know about Paul Bremer's role in the war in Iraq?
He was the administrator in Iraq at the worst time. Okay, so Paul Bremer has some explaining to do.
He was involved in Central America?
What?
Central America he was involved in before?
Bremer?
Yeah.
I don't know what he was involved with before. I can't accurately say.
But he's the one that they believe brought death squads to Iraq?
I don't believe that for a second. Bremer was the administrator, the American administrator. Under his tutelage, it went south. And thank God for General Petraeus, who got in there and turned it around.
Okay, let me just say something here. As ignorant as I am, and there are a few people more ignorant than I am, I didn't realize the deficit that this country had established for itself or been forced into for 8 years until the previous tenant left the house.
The money deficit you're talking about?
The state of the United States globally.
Right.
And until we got a guy in there who was actually, and who knows if he's doing the right thing, but at least he's doing something. But to me, the United States government was essentially closed for 8 years.
I think they could have been a lot more open about what they did. And I don't think President Bush is going to go down in history. I think he'll be in a lower tier of presidents. But I don't think he's a venal man. I don't think he's a murderer. I don't believe any of this garbage. And I think unless you have proof to accuse a president of being deceitful, of being a criminal, of torturing people.
All right, forget that. What about just negligent? What about accusations of negligence? But you talk about
venal.
I
think he was negligent?
Let's talk about Cheney. Now, Cheney's the venal one, right?
I don't have much use for the vice president.
You don't like Dick?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like the way he handled the whole situation. He wouldn't come on my program.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I asked him a million times to come on. He wouldn't. I don't like that form of governance. If you're going to do something, come in and explain what you're doing. That's what our country's all about.
And again, it seemed to me like his idea was, let's just get in and get as much money for our rich buddies and get out, and that'll be it.
Look, that's oversimplifying.
It may be simplistic, but that's the impression.
Look,
I know.
Dick Cheney doesn't need any money.
Right. Well, hey, we'll be right back on The Factor. 100 months, the #1 news cable show. Bill, I'm going to ask you about this. We have this videotape. Do you want to show it or do you not want to show it? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. This was some weasel sold a videotape to an internet site of me cursing, on the air.
You were taping something for your show?
Here's why I was really offended by this. I have so much better stuff than that.
Really?
And I'll give it to them at a discount. I mean, they get it. It's like, oh, there's O'Reilly cursing. Like, I don't curse.
Right.
Irish guys curse. That's in the DNA. We curse, okay? We curse a lot. And we're loud. We say bad words. So why don't you just come to me?
Right.
If you want to see me cursing, I got plenty of tape on it.
You sure you don't want to show it?
No, I really don't. My mom's watching, you don't want to. Yeah, your mom's watching. Mom's watching.
Mom's watching Leno.
Is she? Not if I'm on. She's watching me. Mom likes me, and you know it.
Golly.
You know it, Dave.
All right, well, Bill, I think we're done here. I'd like to see you in about 6 months for a cleaning. The #1 cable news show for the last 8.5 years.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure. We'll be right back.